tuned in to the Rainbow Affair magazine exclusive with your editor-in-chief. DiamondKesawn. Tune in and catch up with all things RA Mag at www.rainbowaffairmagazine.com.
Back at it again, already, Maggers. Listen, it's been a minute, but y'all know I got to do what I got to do, right? So listen, every now and then I come across a person that's just shutting it down, and I'm like, yo, we got to get together, right? But life happens, and things happen, and you don't have a chance to catch up with people, but when you do, right? So this person, as y'all know, I promise y'all three things. The latest, the greatest, and the nothing but the exclusive, right? So this person, I don't know how, but I'm about to get in their business because somehow they didn't take it from Fairfax, Virginia. Y'all, I'm talking not even Hampton Roads, child, just old Northern VA, and flipped the social media world upside down. Man, listen, I don't need to do no introduction because when I say what I'm about to say, when y'all understand how Tony talks, you know, ain't nobody doing it with this 7.3 million follower reach and doing it like Tony. Hey, Tony Talks.
Let me tell you, this introduction, I absolutely love it, and I'm gonna need everyone to introduce me like that from now on.
Because when I tell you, because when it gives what it gives, because when you do what you do, and then when you do what you do to give it what it gives, it just gives all that it gives. You feel me? Right. So, Tony, I gotta get now. Listen, right? Don't tell nobody I told you this, okay? This is between me and you and the 3,180 other million people. But between me and you, I just want to ask you a question. How? And I gotta take it back. How did Antonio Tony Talks from Fairfax, Virginia, get into the social media comedic realm itself? Forget taking it over. How did you even get through to touch and tap into that lane and bring us what we now know to be Tony Talks?
Yeah, so amazing question. So I pursued acting traditionally in the beginning, and I wanted to be the world's greatest actor, okay?
Okay.
And I really worked towards that. However, I didn't necessarily like the callback setting. So I didn't like, because I would go into these rooms and I would try to be friends with everybody. I would, talk to everyone. But the problem is that, you're quote unquote in competition with these people.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this really isn't the space for me. So I got introduced more so to social media and posting things on social media and creating kind of my own callback setting, my own room where I can truly just be myself, be as crazy as I am, and have so much fun and gravitate those same opportunities to me, but just through social media. So it's an untraditional route. Now, where the wigs and all that came into play, I have no idea. It was one of those things where I like to play characters. I like to immerse in someone else's life. So my mom had this one wig that I would use every now and then. And from that point on, it just kind of took off. And I was like, okay, awesome. I get to be every inch of myself. And, it's brought some amazing opportunities to me.
Baby, I mean, more than amazing. So, okay. So from traditional acting to Tony Talks, let me take it back a step, right? Fairfax, Virginia. You're minding your business. You're growing up. You're living the lavish life, the lavish good life of Northern Virginia. You're doing what you do. When was that moment that you were like, hey, self, and your self was like, you was like, I want to be an actor?
So that first moment is, the show Mad TV?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so seeing Deborah Wilson, I don't know what it is about her, but her comedy, her just facial expressions, like she's really good at physical comedy. On top of her, how she speaks and all that stuff,
Right.
is her face, her body, all of that. Seeing all of that, I don't know, it just motivated me to really just get into that world, that Will Smith and Fresh Prince, Martin. It's just all these different actors. But I would definitely say seeing Deborah Wilson was like, okay, like someone as quirky as her is doing really well on this TV show. And although they could have shined more light on her, I was like, oh, okay, this is clearly something that I can get into.
Right. Okay, I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, so bring it to me. Now, your early days of getting into social media, right? So
Uh-huh.
before the 7.3 million followers, before the multifaceted, multi-platform, multi-character, baby, when I tell you, I know it started with one wig, but I think I lost count at about 100. And then sometimes I'm just like, he think he's slick because that's that same wig turned sideways, upside down, inside out, right?
Yeah.
So okay, play how you play, right? But when you first started out, right? So take me back in this
hmm
intimate moment of just you in your room or in your studio and creating content. How did you start to piece together the characters that you wanted to bring to life for the base in which you were creating?
So I feel like it all started with paying attention to what was around me.
Mm.
So I'm in a house full of women. I'm the only boy. I used to work several jobs and never well, I got fired once, but for the most part, I stayed in customer service jobs, just kind of circling around, quitting, and then, I say that to say that I've met a lot of different personalities, and I unintentionally put all of that into these characters. Like, if I would sit like back then, if I would sit here and have this interview with you or whatever, or we just had a conversation and I just loved how it was going, da 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 da, I would move forward and try to recreate you in a character. You know what I'm saying? Like different parts of
Mm.
you.
Okay.
And over time, it just started becoming a thing of like, okay, my everyday experiences are now inspiring every bit of content that I do. Now, do I live all of these situations that I make content about? No, but they're exaggerated scenarios of things that I've went through. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah, I would say the character development just starts by paying attention to everything that's around me and just, I don't know, putting a wig on it.
Come on, put in the wig. Baby, when I tell you, can't nobody wear a wig like you could wear a wig, baby. I'm talking. I don't listen. You a wig, a couch, and a blanket, baby. That's what I'm gonna call it, bitch. You a wig, a couch, and a blanket. Okay, cause something about that space you about to curry and not carry, not cut up. You about to curry. Okay,
Yeah.
Curry, curry, straight like that. But
Corey, uh-huh.
okay, I mean, and Tony, I'm gonna be honest, right? I try to not be a person that gets caught up in scroll life, right? And scroll life is when you're on social media just scrolling. But I cannot
Yes.
stand you when you pop up on my page because somehow I end up down the deep dives of Cassandra and Tanya and them jobs and how they done told it.
Uh-huh.
I love it, right? So I want to say thank you, right? And here's why. I want to say thank you for providing the base a moment of comedic relief, right? Thank you for
Mm,
taking something that some people feel can be so mundane in their life with going to work and coming home and dealing with customers and customer service based situations, and you take it
mhm.
and you bring humor to it and you force them to laugh. Now, listen, if you sit on Tony Talk's page and don't laugh, I think you are a whole serial killer. But that's a whole nother conversation, right?
Oh
But
God.
you force them to just laugh in the moment, right? And you give people a moment of good, regardless of what they're going through. When they scroll on you, that scroll life is a moment of goodness at all times. So thank you for bringing that to the base and to us and allowing us to
Mm.
sit in that space with you. Now, as you sit in that space, your aunt Cassandra had called me the other day, right? And she was like,
Hungry.
listen, so Cassandra was like, Chia, I'm coming to Atlanta. And I was like, what you coming to Atlanta for, girl? She was like, because I'm bossed up. And I was like, girl, what? She was like, bossed up is back on the chart. I'm about to do the musical. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? So I'm like, Cassandra, like, how you get into, and she's like, yeah, child, bossed up the musical. Tony is about to make his film making debut. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So Tony, talk
hmm
as we sit
hmm
here. From Fairfax, Virginia, to social media, to the big screen. For I wanted to be an actor. I didn't like the callback setup. I made my own callback setup. Now they calling, okay? If you need me, call me, no matter where you are. But anyways, right? So Boss Up the Musical, Tony, please, I need the organic. What was you doing? Like, was you sitting down eating like an apple and some peanut butter and was like, oh, I'm about to do a musical? Like, how did we get to Boss Up the Musical?
Okay, so one, thank you for everything that you said before that. I just want to make sure I reiterate that it genuinely just means so much to me. So one, thank you for that. Two, okay, so actually, the Boss of the Musical was inspired by a lot of things that I feel like we all go through.
Mhm.
So the reigning like kind of story behind Boss of the Musical is that Cassandra, you know, your friend that called you a few days ago.
My girl.
So the thing about her is that she, you know, she's a boss at what she does, but then, you know, you see in the film that the title gets ripped from her and then she has to figure out like who is she without that title, you know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
feel like that is how we are all walking around, and that's how I was walking around. So
Mm.
it was important for me to tell that story through now granted that message can get sad and depressing and too much, so that's why I was like, let's add some music and let's add some dancing
Right.
to disguise the fact that we're talking about something that could potentially be like a sad and depressing thing for you to like look into yourself and be like, okay, who am I if I'm not an interviewer? Who am I if I don't own so and so? Or who am I if I'm not a trainer? Like, what do I have to offer other than my title? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what that drove me towards creating Boss Up. And then not only that, I wanted to figure out how to grow from content creation. And my PR guy who you were speaking to earlier, David Robinson, is who told me that I should create a film.
Mm.
And I was nervous about like not being able to film because my ideas be really big. And I was like, okay, what if I want to film at an airport? How would I pull that off? And he told me to film with to write without a budget in mind.
Mm.
So I did that, and then it allowed me to be as creative as I wanted. I had the pleasure of speaking at the Atlanta Film Festival, in which I met the production team at, and they ended up taking the script and, you know, creating what we can out of it. So
Wow.
it turned out pretty amazing.
Yeah, it did. Cause Cassandra's out here like on her how can my reflection show who I am inside? I'm
Oh.
like, girl, I'm like Cassandra girl. You out here caught up, girl, but I feel you, girl, I feel you, girl. So watching your baby, right? This idea turned notes, turned script, turned production, watching it come to life. What was the first thing you thought to yourself when you started to sit in the editing booth and realize I'm actually putting this together for the world to see and it's going to happen?
I overwhelmed, but also really nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you because let me tell you, I watch my videos all the time in like a critiquing way, unfortunately, but I genuinely enjoy watching like what I create. Like
Okay.
I genuinely do. But the thing that was making me a little like anxious, just a teeny bit, was that I would have to sit in a room full of people watching me watch me.
Mm.
I was like, oh Lord. I was a little anxious about that. But other than that, I've always wanted, like my inner child has always wanted to see himself on a movie screen.
Okay.
Always. You know what I'm saying? That was the dreams when I was young. And to be able to say that I am watching myself on a movie screen, but it doesn't stop there. It's a film that I created, that I funded, that, you know, that I put together with some amazing people. And, you know, I didn't do it by myself, but it's a beautiful feeling. So to sit in that moment and edit this film and think to myself, okay, so many people are gonna see this. it made me anxious, but also made me tear up a little bit. I'm really proud of myself,
Oh,
and I'm proud of everybody that is, coming to see it.
oh, you was over there crying.
I'm a
You was
Cancer,
like,
okay? I
but
get
don't
emotional if it's raining outside, okay?
oh, yeah, but don't cry too hard because your hair going to stick to your tears. But okay, so
Yeah.
Boss Up the musical will premiere in
Uh
Atlanta
huh.
at the Out on Film LGBT plus Film Festival January 29th, and then it makes its way to streaming with the global debut on Reverie February 1st during Black History Month. Now listen, Cassandra done got
Hmm.
fired, right? She didn't went down by the riverside. She didn't came back
Hmm.
up, got her self-esteem. Now she got her whole premiere in Atlanta, and then she goes global on Reverie Black History Month.
Yes.
Tony Talks, do not tell me what the Lord won't do. Okay, the way you are sitting here doing this how you're doing it, I just want to tell you, awesome, amazing, absolutely astonishing. And now I want to know what you wearing on the red carpet on the 29th. I want the inside scoop on this outfit because Cassandra had said that y'all had some shoppers, but she didn't like the outfits they was bringing her, so she had fired them or whatever. So she was like now y'all was like stuck in between getting some outfits, so she ain't know. So like, what you giving, Tony? Like we giving like Benji, we giving like corporate America, we giving like flawless and fabulous. Like, how you feeling for the red carpet?
Exactly. Me and Cassandra had a talk, right?
Okay.
And I didn't know that she went and, gossiped to you. I got to get her in check about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, I was so stuck in between two worlds because I was like, do I want to show up, not necessarily as Cassandra, but do I want to show up in the glitz, in the glam, and showing up as, Cassandra may be the star, but let's look at who created her. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
It,
Come on.
it, was-
Yeah.
that was the idea, but then I'm stuck in between showing up as the executive producer, showing up as this is growth. This is I'm coming from this and going here. You know what I'm saying? Like because
Mm.
at every red carpet that I show up to, it's usually something that is leather or bedazzled or something like that. And
Okay.
I was like, I'm thinking I want to switch it up and look very much, like you said, corporate, very much I the executive producer kind of vibe with probably a little hint of Cassandra in there. Just a little bit
Oh,
because
I
we're
can't
gonna see her on
wait.
the screen. So that's what we're going for. We will see. But that
So
is what we
y'all
are going
see, so
for.
now y'all gotta wait for the pictures because y'all realize he gave us an answer with no answer, right? So the answer gave very much torn in between the two, but I
There
really
you
wanna
go.
be
Yes.
with you, right? So it's giving
Yes.
that. But no, so let me do this, right? I cannot
Okay.
get ready to close out without asking Tony Talks from Fairfax,
Yes.
VA. For every black and brown youth that is watching you and saying, I want to do this. I think I can do this. I can do this. Oh my gosh, he's doing it. This is amazing. What are those words of encouragement you can give to them that when they think that the world is against them and nobody will accept them for who they are? What are those words coming from you, a person that is fearless, fabulous, flawless, and now got some EP credits? Hello, okay. Um, what are those words that you would say to them if they were looking you dead in your face and just needed
Mhm.
that moment of strength from you?
Well, one, I would give them a hug. One, and then I'd be too emotional to even give them any advice in the
Oh my.
beginning. So when I'm done crying, then I would let that boy or girl, they them. I would let them know, like, listen, you only have you at the end of it all. It's always going to be you. So you need to learn how to be your best friend. You need to learn
Mm,
how to treat yourself in the way that you genuinely want to be treated. Like the way I see it, right, is that you do have family members, you do have friends that won't support you, that won't believe in anything that
right.
you're doing. That's bound to happen. Honestly, the greatest people have those stories. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I would just give them a hug, let them know to keep being them and be very consistent with whatever it is. There is an audience for no matter what you want to do. If you want to dance, if you want to do makeup, and you feel like the industry is too oversaturated for it, like no one's doing it like you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? No
Right.
matter what you are doing, and I would just hug, like I mean the biggest thing is I would hug them so tight because all they just need is comfort, and because I know that's what I needed when I was a kid, and that's what I would be first to give, and then just I would listen, and then just let them know, just keep going, just keep walking forward, take one step at a time, and then when you turn around, you look back and be like, damn, I don't walk the whole mile. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just one step at a time.
Come on,
That was a
one
lot,
step.
but I'm just really
I
passionate
mean,
about
no,
that.
it just, I mean, it gave, I cry, I hug, but one step at a time, real call me, beat me, Kim Possible. So let me ask you,
Yes.
so from 2020, from Let's Go Clock Out, all the way up to Boss Up the Musical, in this space, in this zone, all things Antonio Tony Talks Baldwin, do me one favor before we let go. For somebody
Yes.
who may have been under a rock, please let them know where they can find you at on all things in the world of social media.
Absolutely. I am Tony Talks on Instagram, officially Tony Talks on TikTok, and then I am Tony Tweets on X/Twitter, and then I am Tony Talks on YouTube and any other platform.
And then I just heard, okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question, right? Because I'm nosy, and
Okay.
Cassandra had
Uh,
texted me real quick because she said that she had tried to call you, but you wouldn't click over. But anyways, Cassandra said, are you still planning to drop the new wig collection? Because she over there trying to make some new ones. But all right, so I don't even want to know, without you telling all the tea, because I know you got some wigs coming out because I just ordered three of them. But do me this,
right.
Tony.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, and thank you again for taking the time to allow me, DiamondKesawn, the editor in chief of Rainbow Fair magazine, to get all up in your
Yes.
business. Go back to the young boy back in the day when you was in Fairfax,
Hmm.
Virginia, doing your thug business,
Hmm.
all the way to boss up, flawless and fabulous. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be nosy and get all in your business. I love you and I appreciate you.
Thank you. This was an amazing interview. Oh my gosh. And I love you as well too. And listen, if you pop up at the premiere, I cannot wait to see you.
I'm coming to see this outfit you got on. Listen, y'all, I told y'all, Boss Up the Musical is hitting the streets in Atlanta the 29th. We outside, out on film, LGBT plus film festival. But if you can't make it or if you're not in the area, don't fret, because Reverie got you. February 1st is going to be streaming. Tony Talks shut it down. From Tony Talks to Cassandra, from Clock Out Let's Go to Boss Up. I gave it, I did it, we done it. Until next time, I'm DiamondKesawn. This is Rainbow Affair. Y'all stay in the know.
This is a DiamondKesawn production.